Andre, talk about this fight and Kovalev as far as style.
I mean, I think we've seen Kovalev for years, and everybody, in this room knows what he brings to the table. And what can you say? He's a champion. He defended his championship. He's beat, really good fighters. He's beat really good fighters on the road. So he's a real deal. He's not a guy with a bad record, or a guy that has had a bunch of soft touches. Obviously, I see weaknesses and I see different things that we're going to exploit and we want to exploit. Just gotta wait for November 19th.
Andre, you're definitely one of the most skilled and talented boxers of this generation, from the gold medal to everything you've done since. But there have been these periods of inactivity due to injuries, due to promotional things. How do you justify to yourself holding someone as talented as you are sort of out of the ring where you do your best work, and the best work in the world really that can be done in the ring?
I don't know if I understand the question. How do I justify that?
Yeah, when there are months going by, and you are not in fights, and this has happened in your career at several points, and I'm not, debating the issues, but if I were really, really good at something, I would want to do it because that's the thing I'm really good at. Boxing's not it, but boxing is it for you, and you've been on the shelf at various points, and that's got to be hard. And I'm wondering how you justify it. How you don't figure out a way to make it happen when you're so good there.
Well, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. And it's interesting because I talked to Jim Lampley about this, and I've spoken about this leading up to my last fight. The inactivity periods, they kind of are what they are. It's not. I'm not going to allow it. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not going to allow it to overshadow my career and be the main focus of my career. I mean, if somebody camps around that, then that's a bigger issue. And I think we understand what I'm saying here. We obviously are talking about the lawsuit situation probably more than we should have. I couldn't fight. I say it again, I wasn't allowed to fight. I couldn't fight.
Well, let me change the question. Are we going to see you more often going forward now that you can? Because we want to see you. Everyone in this room wants to see you all the time. 3 fights a year, man?
I'm trying to answer the first question. So the lawsuit situation, I couldn't fight. Beyond that, an injury is an injury. I've been boxing, almost 12 years now as a professional. And I think in a 12-year period, and probably 20 years total, and training the way that I do it, those kind of things happen, man. I've got thousands of miles on the pavement. I've got thousands of miles in the boxing gym. Things are going to happen. And, I think a lot of focus is centered around, that happened instead of, man, you persevered through that again and got to this point. Well, look, we're here to talk about right now, arguably the biggest fight in boxing.
I agree.
And not only that, but God willing, when I come through this fight, again, I'm arguably the best fighter in the world. So
we were just saying that's Kovalev. The winner of the fight is #1 in the world.
Those are chapters in a long story. And again, I don't know why, and it's a great question. I'm just trying to answer it. I don't know why we camp around those things, but they kind of are what they are. It's life, man. It's not.
Because a lot of boxers suck, so we want to see the good ones. That's why we're harping on it. I don't care about the public. It's the people who go to the match.
I'm just saying, the question is kind of almost as if I'm, I'm home kicking my feet up and I don't want to.
Oh no, of course not, man.
There's things that are out of my hands, and then I got to put on a different hat and say, okay, how are we gonna get through this one?
But you see fights on TV where your guys are like, come on, man, and you're at the top level. Who do you think we'd rather see, those guys or you? Of course it's you. So it's not about that you put.
I respect all fighters, though. You know what I mean? So I can't say it like that, but I understand.
Well, I can.
Yeah, but I'm
not saying you should.
Agree.
I'd like to add one thing, though. To Andre's point, we're constantly hearing about this inactivity. When you think about November 19th, four times in 18 months. That's an average of 4.5 months. A fight every 4.5 months, right?
Yeah.
Let's think about the last 18 months as opposed to what happened 2.5 years ago prior to that. He's been very active. He's going to continue to be active.
If he's going to continue to be active, man, everyone's going to be happy. That's all we want, man. We just want Andre. That's it.
No, I understand, but that's history.
But this is the reality, though. Whether you're a fan, if you're a true fan, which I've seen true fans and supporters through the good, the bad, and the ugly, they're not going anywhere. They ride with me through it all. They're the reason I got through those periods in time, because they didn't jump off the wagon. They said, man, look, we love you, man. Get through this. We want to see you back in the ring. And really that's what it's all about. I can't, like, it's not my responsibility to, you know, make everybody happy. I'm trying to get through this thing, I'm trying to figure it out as I go, and I'm trying to do the best job that I can, but of course I want to be in the ring. That's literally how I provide for my family. But if I'm not in the ring, it's for a reason. And nobody in this room, no fan around the world can want me in the ring and being active more than I want to be. But you got to go through things. I wasn't the first fighter, and I won't be the last.
Andre, yeah, how you doing? It's been a long time since your last defeat. I mean, I think talking about it when you were, I think, a 12-year-old amateur. Is that right? 12 years old.
I lost count, and this somewhere around.
Okay, well, that's what I was asking about. So, because it's been so long between an amateur loss, 1,000 years ago, all of your, other amateur fights, your gold medal in the Olympics through your professional career and the championship fights. Do you remember the last time you lost a fight?
Yeah, it was Lenexa, Kansas against John Revish, fighting in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Silver gloves.
Where did you say it was?
Lenexa, Kansas. And I thought I won the fight. Silver gloves. Silver gloves is the biggest tournament you can be in. 10 to 15 year old.
3 rounds?
3 rounds.
How old were you?
I think 13. It's 1997.
We gotta get some clarity on that.
It's 1997. Silver gloves are usually late January, early February. This we're getting to the end of February, which we're doing the 15th.
So, Andre, do you remember? I mean, because it's been so long, and this is the, I mean, you've had other fights, maybe Kessler where people sort of, perhaps it was good, moving your way. But other than the Kessler fight, it's basically been a favorite in every fight, including through the Super 6, even against Austin. That this is the first time in a long time where there is a division among fans, media, whatever, where they can see the fight going away. Do you remember your feeling in the defeat?
Of course, I feel like with my last defeat, felt like it stung, and I never wanted to, feel that again. And I made, a resolution to myself, and I know ultimately everything is not in my hands, but I made a resolution that what's in my hands, and in terms of what I can do, like, I'm gonna do everything that I can do where that never happened to me. But I've always felt like the underdog. You guys gotta realize that as successful as I've been able to be as a professional, and this isn't a knock at anybody, this isn't, directly at anybody, but we'll speak honestly and transparently. I was never hailed as the guy. I was never pushed as the guy. So you got to realize what that breeds in a person that's a competitor and somebody who believes in his ability when there's always somewhat of a butt behind a performance or behind an accomplishment. So I've always felt like, that I was the underdog. That's a real statement. So this is no different to me. I'm comfortable in this space. I don't feel like, wow, they think I'm gonna lose or I could possibly lose. I've always felt like that. Because even in victory, there's still a butt behind it. So as a competitor and somebody who really loves what he does, you take that a certain kind of way and you use that.
There's certainly a lot of people think you're going to win this fight because they view you as the more skillful boxer. I'd like your take on that. I mean, I know you can fight in a multitude of different styles. You've seen that for many years. Kovalev has maybe not been as versatile as you, although he's shown, like against Hopkins, he can box too, besides just sit there and crack. Somebody asked Kovalev if the fight would come down to just his sheer physicality and size of power against, if there would be what carries him to a win. Do you think that it's going to be your skills that basically take care of business?
No, I don't think it's just going to be that because it hasn't just been that, in any of my fights. I think it's always more than that, but sometimes, the naked eye can't see what's going on. I think, obviously the opponents, they know what's going on. By the time they figure out what's going on, the fight is over. I feel like they believe, kind of what they see on the surface, and they get in there and it's like, man, he's a little stronger than I thought he was. Man, he hit that punch, he wasn't supposed to hit hard, but man, that hurt. Man, he's not getting tired. He's stronger than I thought. So it's nuances, it's different things. It's similar to the Floyd experience that fighters go through, where we see one thing, oh, he's running, he's not hitting hard. But man, God, he's hitting harder than people think. He's physically stronger than people think. So it's a combination of things. And then at the end of the day, like any fight with two top guys who have a lot to gain and a lot to lose, who wants it more? There's going to be rounds, there's going to be moments where who wants it more? And I just believe I want it more. It's that simple. I know what I'm going up against. You have to acknowledge what he's done and respect what he's done in order to prepare properly. So I'll never take away from my opponents. If you guys look at my track record, I've never done that. I've never been a guy that tears my opponents down. I'll probably give them more credit than they should get. That way I get into the right frame of mind. So it's going to be a lot of things going on in that ring that bring me to victory, but ultimately it's going to be who wants it more.
Andre.
Do you feel that the opponent has ever wanted more than you?
I mean, probably not. In my mind, I can't say, you know, but everybody has a breaking point and everybody can be broken. And I've just never believed, I wasn't raised like that, and I wasn't groomed like that as a young kid growing up fighting in tournament after tournament, that a man can't be broken, that you know, he's so strong, or hits so hard, he's so accomplished that he can't be defeated. I don't buy it. So that's just my mindset. And I'm sure other guys, you know, to a degree have the same mindset, but I'm just fortunate to have come out on top, you know, 30 times.